Okay, good afternoon all. We'll wait for 2 more minutes and then we will start the last chapter of your syllabus, that is how to publish your application. Okay, that is your last topic or last chapter. Okay. Okay, I think we should start now. Okay, so let me present my screen first and then we will start. 1 minute. Okay, I think now my screen is visible. So I think your next topic is Android developer fundamentals, how you can prepare and publish your application. Okay, that is your last chapter of your syllabus. So basically, this particular slide, I think, let me check how many students are present. Okay, present and okay. So basically, the content of this presentation is prepare your application for release and how you can publish your application. Steps for publishing your application, how you can prepare. So first you need to prepare an app for a release. Then you need to generate a signed APK. Then you need to actually upload your application to Google Play Store. Okay, basically we'll be actually discussing what is signed APK. So it is app signing is required to publish your Android app. Okay, so to protect your app, signing a key from loss or compromise with the Google management system, you need to sign your app using the Android Studio and export this existing app signing key to the Google Play Store. So prepare the app for a release, then generate a signed APK, upload to the Google Play Store, run the alpha and beta test, and publish to the world. These are the steps for publishing your application. Now, what do you mean by APK? So actually, APK is Android application package file, that is .apk file, and it is just like a executable file. Okay, તમે I think .NET માં કરતા હશો. .NET માં I think .sln file generate થાય છે for your desktop application. So just like that, here APK file is being generated. APK file is being generated, and file with the APK file is actually extension of Android package file that is used to distribute application on Google Android operating system. Okay, so that APK file can be installed in any Android device for the use. Okay, so basically APK file, each Android application is compiled and packaged in a single file that includes all application code, resources, assets, and manifest file. Okay, so each Android application is compiled and packaged in a single file that includes all application code, resources, assets, and manifest file. APK file માં બધું combinedly આવી જાય છે. That includes everything like application code, like resources, like assets, and manifest file. So you need a APK to publish on a Google Play Store. Basically, you need a APK file to publish a Google Play Store. Share your app during the development. So way to distribute your application: zip it up, share the source code, publish to the GitHub, and make an APK. So this is how you can distribute your application. You can zip it up, you can share a source code with your friends, you can publish to the GitHub whatever the application you are making, and you can make a APK file. Share with the friends and family. Use alpha and beta test to share your application with friends and family. So basically, I think I can give you the example. Before Android is actually commercially launching any kind of Android operating system, first what they are doing, they are actually testing that Android operating system with its employees. So when Android actually Gingerbread was commercially launched into the market, first it was actually was given to the its employee that what was the you can say user experience be like when you use the Android operating system. Okay, I can give you the example. I think it is just like a Geo card. Geo card કેવું હતું કે first they have, I think Geo has distributed a Geo card to its employees, and afterwards what they have done is then they have commercially launched that particular Geo card into the market, which gives you lots of facility like data plus calling for free in a certain plan. Okay, so same way here also, use alpha and beta test to share your app with the friends and family, and you can have a certain suggestion and certain things. Okay, share your production app, publish on Google Play. Share your production app, you can publish a certain application on a Google Play, as you can see on our right hand side. Okay, make a APK, upload to the Google Play, run alpha and beta test, and publish it. And then whenever any user wants to actually download any application, like it will be available in a particular Google Play Store. Okay, so you need to specify the category, whether your application is for game, whether your application is a messenger, whether your application is any kind of social media chat application or something like that. Okay, so that you need to specify, and automatically it will be available in a Google Play Store. Prepare your application for release. So you can prepare your application for release. First, you need to test. Before you launch any kind of application onto the market, you need to test Okay, you need to test in a certain device. You need to test in a certain, you can say, operate Android, different versions of operating system. Okay, add an icon. Every application needs a certain icon. Okay, which defines a particular application. Okay, so suppose if I say, suppose here I think it is there on the right hand side, as you can see in a picture. If you are actually launching a video calling application, then there has to be a certain icon which defines or justify the particular application. Okay, so here it is video icon. Okay, same way I think if you are launching any kind of war game or war game in the form of application, then you need to justify that particular through icon. Okay. So same way here, add an icon, make sure your app has the correct filters, choose the application ID, specify the API level targets. Okay, API level target means, I think Android, I think already we have discussed API level. Okay, right now I think API level 29 or 30 is going on, latest. Okay, so whenever you make any application, you need to justify your application will work on which API level. So if you say that user who is having API level 25, API level 25 or more than that, or API level 23. So API level 23 is Android 6.0. Okay, Android 6.0, and actually API level Android 6.0, that is you can say Marshmallow. So the person or user who is actually having a Android Marshmallow installed in a particular uh, installed installed in a particular device, that user only can actually use your application. So you need to target the minimum API level. Okay, so that you can reach the maximum users. Okay, તમારી application એવી હોવી જોઈએ કે એ minimum API level Google Android ના target કરે, અને so that you can reach to the maximum level. Suppose if you are making any application, and if your application only targeting API level 30, say Android 11 version 11, so API level 30 target karta hai, so right now I think most of, I think only 2 or 4% user are actually using the Android 11, right? So you can only target 2 or 4% device which is using that Android API level 11, sorry, Android API level 30. Okay, but suppose if you say that if you are targeting API level 22, or if you are targeting API level 23, then it supports maximum Android operating system which is actually installed in a device. If you develop an application which supports Android API level 22, that is Lollipop, then automatically it will also support a higher version like Marshmallow, Nougat, Oreo, Pie. Okay, so you need to choose the you need to choose or specify the API level target. Same way, clean your application and generate a signed APK for a release. To protect your resources, to protect your application, you need to actually sign your APK, and then you need to upload into the Google Play Store. Okay, તમને ખાલી કહી દઉં. I think, I don't know right now what is the price, but if you want to upload your application on a Google Play Store, then you need to have one Google Play Store account. Okay, any doubt? $25. Yes, I was about to say that it is actually $25. Yes, $25. That was the price, actually $25, if you want to make one account in a Google Play Store, and then you can upload your application on that Google Play Store. Okay, but make sure your application must be feasible. Okay, feasible in the sense it must be physical according to the user's requirement. Okay, there are lots of application in a Google Play Store which is actually uploaded for just for a testing purpose, but your app must be must be useful, must be feasible. Test and test. So first make sure your application works correctly. Okay. uh, Test your application on a different device, screen size. Test your application on an older device. Okay. Use support library for backward compatibility and just test. So basically you need to test your application, okay, in a different screen size, in a different device. Okay, might be possible, or might be not, might be possible, but all the users are using the different screen size mobile, 5.0, 5.5 screen, 6.0 screen, or 5.2. So the resolution doesn't match. So your application should be work on all screen size, all different device with the different configuration, like storage and like RAM. Okay. So first you need to test, and then you will be able to understand whether your application is compatible with the different device, with the screen size, and can work on a commercial base in a market or not. Test on device in a data center. I think already I have discussed that you can test on real device in a data center using Firebase Cloud Test Lab. Okay, Firebase Cloud Test Lab. You can test your particular uh, device. Okay, let me. I think we can actually open this Firebase test. This is Firebase Cloud Test Lab, where you can test your application. It is IO. It supports iOS as well as Android. Please check. See, run the test. Okay, how does it work? So here you can test. Suppose run the test. If I'm here right now, I don't have any application, but if you want to, so you need to add the project. You need to create one. Okay, same way. Like when you are actually using the, when you are generating a API particular for your application, you are using the API. Same way here also, you need to create a page. Same way for Android. Okay, just let me, I think, play the video. Hey, thanks for tuning into another Firebase. My name is Doug Stevenson, and I'll give you a quick walkthrough on how to do the first test of your app with Firebase Test Lab. The Firebase team understands that application quality is extremely important for the long-term health of your app, the business experience. I know from personal experience that publishing an app is a serious issue that costs time and money. And there's a risk that your users might simply uninstall the app that's causing them trouble. To help prevent these problems, you can use Firebase Test Lab for Android to maintain a high bar for quality by testing your app on many devices at the same time. There's a lot you can do with Test Lab, so let's just take a look at the easiest way to get started with Test Lab right now. Okay, I already have an Android project created in the Firebase console that I've used for a while. So let's take a look at it. Now, when I select Test Lab from the features bar, the console is telling me that I need to upgrade the Blaze plan. Click on the upgrade button and see some choices. And the Blaze plan includes Test Lab. So when I select Blaze, I know that I'm going to be billed for my use of real-time database, file storage, and patterns. But I already have a problem. I'm still building out the first version of it, and I'm happy with the first one. I don't yet want to start paying for storage and bandwidth to my app. And this is okay. I don't have to use Test Lab for the project I'm using the development. So if you're like me, you only want to pay to use Test Lab. What you can do instead is create a whole new project for all your testing. And you can just upgrade that project to this plan, and you only pay for the tests that you execute. In fact, you don't even have to add Firebase to your app at all to be able to test it. And simply upload any APK, and Test Lab will run tests on it in the project you choose, using only the billing information from that. So let's create a new project real fast now. First, I'll go back to the Firebase console page. Then I'll choose to create a new project. I'll give it a name that makes it clear what I'm trying to do here, and keep the default. Now I'll choose to upgrade this project. I'll select the Blaze plan and go ahead with the billing setup. But I'll stop the recording right here because I'm not going to show you my credit card number today. So completing the rest of that stuff is important. When I'm done with that, you'll see my project is now on the Blaze plan, which means
Imagine right now you're wondering what exactly it costs to test your phone. You should know that your credit card will be billed $5 per physical device out. That means if your test runs on 5 different device configurations and you've submitted a test that takes 12 minutes from each device, it's a total of 1 hour, which costs $5. If you have 6 distinct device configurations that each run for 10 minutes, it's also a total of 1 hour for $5. The math is pretty easy, so you get it. Anyway, let's do an easy test. If I click Test Lab on the left in my operating room, I have an option to run a couple different kinds of tests. The easiest test to run is RoboTest. This is an automated, intelligent test that requires no extra coding. Operate my app and give a report to me. All I have to do is upload an APK and select the configurations to test. Here, I'm just going to select the Nexus 7 and Nexus 5 devices on API levels 21 and 22 in both landscape and portrait. And I'll leave the default locale in US English. Now, when I scroll down, the console is telling me that this is a total of 6 unique tests in this test sequence. When I push that button, the tests are deployed to my selected devices to test, and the results will appear sometime right here in the console. And when you get to writing your own instrumentation tests, you'll be able to run those tests from the console here as well. Like I mentioned before, you can run tests against pretty much any API. This means debug or release models with or without Firebase integration. You can test multiple different apps all in the same. Oh, and there's one other thing. If you aren't able to pay for testing, you can still make use of Firebase Test Lab by uploading your APK to an alpha or beta channel on Google Play Developers. All you have to do is opt in to use the pre-launch reward. From that point on, every APK you upload to those channels will receive a 5-minute robot test across several devices at no charge. After a while, those test results will appear alongside the APK in the channel pretty well. So that's all we have time for now. Stay tuned here to Firebase channel on YouTube for more details on Firebase Test Lab for Android.
Okay, so when you actually, this is actually how you can test for Android with the Firebase Test Lab. Okay, you need to test the execution. Okay, you need to prepare your test for uploading to the test, and I think you need to follow these steps. Okay, so I'm not going into this detail, but right now, just for your information, this is Firebase Test Lab. Okay, where you can actually test your application on a range of device and configuration, and so you can get the better idea how it will perform in the hands of live user. Okay, how it will perform in the hands of live user. Okay, you can actually test on both Android as well as iOS application. You can run on real devices, and you can workflow integration. Okay, you can integrate with the Firebase console. Your application will be integrated. Okay, so that is how Firebase Test Lab works. So before you launch your application on a market, first you need to test, and Google gives you that facility. Okay, so add the launcher app icon. You can actually add a certain launcher app icon like Google Play on a device, home screen, manage the application, my downloads. I think on the right hand side actually you can see you can have one launcher icon which defines your application. Google Play filters search result. Google Play searches the result only show apps that are compatible with the user device. So automatically Google will actually check which device you are using, which API level you or which version of operating system you are using, and only will show you the certain compatible application with the user's device. So if your application uses a camera, Google Play only shows the application to the device that have a camera. If your mobile doesn't support the camera, then actually that the application which actually has or which needs a permission of your camera, which will not be shown. Okay, so I think for more information, I think you can click onto this developer.android.com and you will get idea. Please check. See, this is how filter works. Okay, I think it will check screen size, it will check camera, it will check device configuration, keyboard, navigation, touchscreen, and then it will show you the a particular application that are compatible with users device. Okay, types of filters. These are the types of filters: hardware filter, hardware features, API level manifest settings such as support screen and uses features and countries selected during the APK upload. So these are the types of filters which will be considered while actually used while actually shown any application to your screen. Choose your application ID. Application ID identifies or defines your application identity. It must be unique across all the applications from everyone. If you change the application ID and republish, the app becomes different application. Okay. If you change your application ID and again you are republishing the same application, then your application becomes a different application. So user for a previous application cannot update to new application. Okay, હું તમને એમ કહું કે ભાઈ ફ્લિપકાર્ટ છે એને એક એપ્લિકેશન એની પબ્લિશ કરી, બરાબર. હવે ફ્લિપકાર્ટને એની એપ્લિકેશન અપડેટ કરવી છે એટલે એ શું કરશે, ફરીથી એપ્લિકેશન છે એ અપડેટ કરશે, પણ એ શું કરશે કે ભાઈ એપ્લિકેશન આઈડી એનું ચેન્જ કરી નાખશે, ફરીથી રીપબ્લિશ કરશે. ફરીથી જો રીપબ્લિશ કરશે, that means now the user who is having the previous application cannot update. The user has to again download or install from the Google Play Store new application which is published by Flipkart. Okay, જેવું તમે application ID તમે change કરો means your application becomes a different application. Okay, the user of the previous application cannot update to new application. That is the main thing. Application ID versus package name. Initial application ID is set to package, and you can change the application ID in a build.gradle independently of a package name. So if you want to change your application ID, then you need to change from the build.gradle. Okay. So here see there is a application ID. Initial application ID is the same as package in Android manifest. એટલે build જો અહીંયા લખેલું છે compile SDK version 23, SDK version 23 છે અને tool version છે 23.0.3 and application ID is android.mydomain.com.myappid. એટલે myappid માં તમારું શું આવશે, your application ID. So it will be there in a build.gradle file in your Android Studio project. Okay. At minimum and target API level. So minimum SDK version is Android platform that app runs on. I think I have already discussed that if you want to target maximum user તમારે target કરવા હોય તો you need to target minimum version of Android platform. Okay, and target SDK version is API level that application is designed for. So set the minimum and target the API level. Android version. These are the Android version. I think this is not updated, but please check. Up to 24 it is there, but right now it is Android 11, that is API level 31. So if you check code name is Honeycomb, then version is 3.0 to 3.2.6. Release date is February 2011. API level is 11 to 30. Same way if I go to Marshmallow, I think some of the version is now outdated and Android Google is not giving its updates. I think up to KitKat સુધી બધા version હવે બંધ થઈ ગયા છે. If you are actually still using KitKat operating system in your device, then Android support or Google will not provide any kind of update or support for that particular version. Okay, So you need to actually have Lollipop, Marshmallow, Nougat, okay, Oreo, Pie, or Android latest version. Okay, so I think release dates are given and APA level targeted is also given. Please check. Now clean up your app, remove logging statement, disable the debugging, clean up your project directories, update the URLs for servers and services, and reduce the APK size. These are the things clean up your app. So if you want to clean up your app, then you need to disable the debugging, you need to clean up your project directories, you need to disable the certain debugging options, you need to reduce the APK size. Okay, so these are the clean up here. Why does APK size matter? So the size of APK affects how fast your application will load. So whatever the application you are making, it contains resources, it contains a certain library, everything for your application. Okay, so if your application size is big, then it is very difficult, or it will affect your how your application will load into the device, how much memory it will use, how much power it consumes. So it depends. Okay, so your size of your APK of any application matters, due to it will affect your how your application will load into the device, it will affect how it will use the memory from your device, and it will check how much power is consumed. So your battery will drain as much as possible if your APK file is much larger. Why to reduce the APK size? So user might abandon large application, particularly in the areas with unreliable 2G and 3G network. So on device that will work on pay by pay byte plan. So I think અત્યારે આ problem છે જ નહીં, why you are actually reducing. But when I think I'm talking about 5 or 7 years ago, when we are using 3G and 2G, where actually you are actually checking how much data is being consumed by application, how much data has been consumed through internet. Okay, you are actually checking, because you are only getting 1 GB per 1 month, right? એક મહિનામાં 1 GB ડેટા મળતો, એટલે તમે એ બાઇટ બાય બાઇટ ગણતા હોય ત્યારે આ મેટર કરે. બટ રાઈટ નાઉ આઈ થિંક યુ હેવ અનલિમિટેડ ડેટા. Every day you are getting 1 or 2 GB if you are using prepaid plan. If you are using postpaid plan, then I think you are getting 40 to 50 GB per month. So this actually eliminates of having a large application, particularly right now. I think most of the application has a large application, because now your device supports, or your device has a large processing power, your device has a large storage, right? Your device supports multiple tasks. Okay, multitasking is available in a different good, I think, in a device, in every operating Android operating system. Okay, so I think now it is, I think it is eliminating this thing. Same way, reducing the APK size removes the unused resources, reuse the resources, minimizing the resources used from the library, reduce the native and Java code, and reduce the space needs for the images. Okay, so basically these are the certain things, okay, which actually helpful if you reduce the APK size. Same way, you can reduce the image size, which reduce the animation frame. Use the drawable objects, crunch the PNG file, use the WebP file format, use the vector graphics. I think nowadays, I think these are all, I think these are actually not in use. Now I think your device is a supports lots of configuration in terms of processing power, in terms of storage, in terms of screen size, so that I think your image or anything can be load into your device. Okay, actually now your mobile phone is your mini computer where you can do each and every multitasking and everything. So I think if you actually use the bigger drawable objects, if you have a good animation, still your device will work, because nowadays your mobile is having a high configuration mobile, like supporting 5 to 6 GB processing power, supporting 128 GB plus storage, supporting graphics, supporting the screen size, okay, resolution, everything, right? So I think nowadays these are actually all your devices supporting. Same way, clean up your project folder. You can clean up your project folder and files. Stray or files can prevent your application from compiling and cause it to behave unpredictably. Okay. આટલું રાખીએ. Any doubt? પછી આપણે આ બધું કરશું. How you can generate a APK. How you can generate a APK, that needs to be again discussed, but I think we'll be discussing in the next lecture. Any doubt? Any doubt? You can tell me. Still we have 10 minutes. Otherwise, I think I should make the attendance. Yes, so let me take your attendance. Okay, 17 series 5 and 12. 12. Okay, 12 is present. Okay, now 18 series 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. 7, okay. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. 14, 15, 16, 17. 15, 16, okay. 17 is present or not? 17. Okay. 18, 19, 21, 22. 18, 19, okay, 21, 22. 23, 24, 25, 26. 26. 27, 28, 30, 31. 30, okay. 31. 32, 33, 34, 35. 34, 35, okay. 36, 38, 39, 40. 36, 38, 39, okay, 40. Okay, 41, 42, 43, 44. Okay. 45, 46, 47. 48. Okay. 49, 50, 51. 51. 54, 55. 54, 55. 19 series 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So any doubt, please tell me and we can discuss. Every time I'm asking. This is the last chapter, I think. Our DE team isn't approved. Okay, you need to contact your design engineering faculty. Okay, if your design engineering team is not approved, you should contact your design engineering faculty. I have given the rights to them and they will approve. Okay, because I don't know what projects you have discussed with your design engineering faculty, so I don't know. So what you can do is, whosoever is taking your subject right now, you can directly contact them. Okay, so I think this completes our lecture. Thank you.